so that you can discuss about grants, where people can find it, how people should approach applying for grants, and then maybe some explanation in relation to, after I've gone through what our requirements are, how the difference is in terms of the complexity. Because I don't know if you've seen the application, but it's basic stuff: CAC, information about what you use the grant for, and very generic. It's not as restrictive as I feel as some other grants have been from what I've seen. But based on your experience, you'd communicate that to us, and then yeah, they'll ask more questions. Hopefully, after that.
Yeah, that's actually fine.
Okay. Okay. Okay, that's perfectly fine. So let's just give a few more minutes to see if there are a few people that come in, so that we can just start with as many people as we can. Um, but for those who are already here, my name is Ahmed Galadima Mahmoud. Sure we're not familiar, so I'm one of the co-founders of Outliers alongside Abubakar Gana. Maybe you're more familiar with him. Um, but yeah, today I'm assuming everyone here is aware of what they're going for. This is a grant application offered by, um, I think it's The Bridge by G, as well as 229 Consults, who are the ones who are kind of supervising, judging, criticizing your applications, and also funded by the Space Foundation, and it's 1.5 million naira. And that amount is meant to be used for your business venture. And all you're going to do for the application is just prove that yeah, what you're going to use the money for is kind of worthy of that. And you just kind of present your information, your company details, and a few information of how you're going to utilize the funds. And then some of you, I'm sure, would have already gone through the application. If any of you haven't, then I would recommend that you do. And then I will just post the link to the form on the chat, so that if anyone who hasn't applied, they can actually apply. But I'm assuming most of you have. And maybe just to give more insight into what the grant is, and then subsequent grants, if you guys are looking for other opportunities, if you're not able to make it this time, because there's only one person who the panel of 229 consult are going to select. And yeah, you might want to apply to something down the line. So, Mr. Victor, who I hope he would do a better job of introducing himself, has taken a lot of people through grant applications. He himself has also engaged in applying for grants. He offers his services to train people on how they should get grants. And if I'm not mistaken, he charges about like $30 and for 2 hours, about 30K. So we have the pleasure and honor of having him here, where he's taking you guys through some, relatively charged information that you're getting for free. So, uh, if you would please take the stage, Mr. Victor, so that you can just introduce yourself and let everyone who's here know who you are and what you do. Sorry, Mr.
So
Victor, did you
much.
hear me?
Hi everyone. My name is Victor Akman, and I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear
Can anyone hear me?
But we can't see you.
Okay.
you.
All right. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I think
My name is my
someone
name
said
is
we
Victor.
can't see you. I don't know if you'll be able to show your face, but if it's fine, then no problem.
Oh yeah. So I am. I will. I will turn off. I will turn off. I will turn on my camera. I'm trying to
Okay,
switch to my laptop.
okay,
So, yeah, my name is Victor Akman, and I am a fundraising clarity coach. And what I basically do is I help founders to access foreign grants and attend fully funded international conferences that they might be interested in. So yeah, that's what I basically do. I believe I'll have more time to like share more insight into how you can approach foreign grants if you're
mhm,
interested in foreign grants. Thank you.
okay. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much. So I think maybe this is enough time to wait. We have a few people already through the door. Um, so I'll start going over the form. And if you guys have any questions, please take the time, write it down, or keep it in mind, so that I'll open up the floor once I'm done for people to just send their questions. And then I would answer, and then lead Mr. Victor in either to answer a few of them or to just take over the call from there. All right. So I'm just gonna try and share my screen real quick. Okay, a few more people are still coming in. So yeah, this is the form that you're supposed to apply on. And just quickly, let me just post that in the chat so that everyone would have access to it if you haven't already applied. Give me a second. Okay, yeah, there's still few people rolling in. Yikes, that's a lot more people. Alhamdulillah.
I posted that.
So the link is in the chat. It's the one that's docs.google.com forms. Where are the people coming in? Okay.
Is there a way you can assist me with allowing people
Okay.
in?
Well, for those who have come in, welcome, welcome. We're just about to start, anyways. So
Yes, if it is outlined
you're
for
still
me.
in good
No,
time.
I can't.
All right. So this is the application form. As I said earlier, it's hosted by the Bridge by G, and the consulting managers are 229 Consult. They're the ones who are going to go over your applications individually and determine whether you're going to be eligible for actually accepting the grant. Um, one of so this form kind of goes over the documentations that you're going to need to send. But I think primarily it also shows the evaluation criteria that they're going to use. And I think we'll just briefly go over it completely. Let me just allow a few more people into the call briefly. Okay, yes. So that might happen. So sometimes people might come into the call and I'll have to stop and
Actually
allow them in.
set the call to allow for.
How do I do that
So I
briefly?
think you can actually go to the settings and allow anyone join without permission.
Okay, let me just quickly check that then. Settings. Okay. Need to desktop
كتير كذا كاميرا.
Okay. Just to be sure, is 229 here in the call? Is there any of the representatives here right now?
Yes,
Okay.
we are.
Alamin Masu, yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So I wanted to make sure that you also got the time to introduce yourself and then speak about 229.
All right, then just call on me
Oh
whenever
no, please
you are
take
ready.
the stage. I think this is the time.
All right, then. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. So my name is Alamin Masood. I'm a strategy consultant with 229 Consulting.
Mm-hmm.
229 Consulting is a consulting firm. We work with private organizations, government agencies, and multinationals for trainings, program development, and similar things. Currently, what we're doing majorly is GenAI adoption for schools,
Mm-hmm.
both secondary and tertiary institutions. So we are partnering with Outliers, the Bridge, and the Space Foundation
Mm-hmm.
to be the business consultants on this particular grant. What we're doing mainly is managing applications. We're going to also review it. And then selected candidates that have very good applications will now be invited for a short virtual assessment before the final winner will now be announced afterwards.
Okay. That's perfect.
Yes.
And just for
Thank
my
you.
sake, are you going to uh, turn on your camera as well as Mr. Victor said he was?
Maybe shortly.
'Cause
I
now
am
I
not
feel alone because I'm the only one with the camera, on, and you guys are supposed to be
Sorry,
with me.
I didn't know that you were going to call on me to join or
Mhm.
contribute. That was why.
Okay.
Hassan, since you're laughing, maybe Hassan will turn on his camera shortly.
Don't worry, we don't need to
Thank you.
have people that aren't. If you're not prepared, it's fine. Don't worry.
All right,
So
so
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for the introduction. And please, if there's anything you want to add onto what I'm saying, I wouldn't mind you interjecting and then correcting or confirming uh, any specific parts. I think more so in the area of the eligibility criteria. I would like it if you guys kind of went over that in a bit more detail.
All right, then that is fine.
Okay. So yes. So I was just going over. Yeah, the grants 1.5 million, funded by the Space Foundation, through the Bridge by G, and with 229 Consults, Lamin and Hussein or Hassan, who's also in the call, who are part of the company who would be supervising and then managing your applications and then checking and making sure that okay, picking the winner basically. Um, so let's start with the first section. So some of the mandatory requirements. The first one is the CAC. So that's your corporate document from CAC. A lot of times, I think this is important for us because we expect businesses to, go through the formal structure to be registered. And one of the main things for this is to kind of pull away anyone who is unserious in regards to their business, because people can make money informally, but the requirement is just there for you to verify that you're a serious entrepreneur, you're really interested in actually having your business, having a business account, having yourself registered is part of showing that. And we find that to be a priority. And for those who we want to give this grant, it's also important that they show that seriousness. Um, we then go for the evidence-based business operations. And I think in the event, Umar said it well, which is we just kind of want to know what a proof of what you guys are doing or where you guys are. So, do you have a storefront, a website, an office, an e-commerce site, and you prove that you're operating that business already? And one thing is the business to be chosen is preferably one who is already doing something. So it's not primarily for startups, although you can apply as a startup, but then the evaluation would be judged based on that. And you would require a bit more proof if you're a startup, but it's definitely required that you have something already that you're working with, right? So just your social media page is fine, just sharing that and adding that into your application. And then the next point is the itemized budget, which is basically a line by line explanation of how you're going to actually use these funds, right? So you're justifying the fact that that 1.5 is going to contribute really good value to your business. And from someone who is a financier, it's just clarity on, like if I was giving out a loan or if I'm investing in a company in equity, what I really want to know is that that money is going to be used effectively. It's not just going to be, I need the money because I need it. It's not just going to be, I'll put it in my business and I know it's going to help me. 1.5 is great, right? The idea is that what exactly is that 1.5 going to do? When you get it, okay, 500 is for advertising, this amount is for buying new products, this amount is for transportation and logistics, right? So clearly stating the use of the money and how that would also affect your business and what benefit this amount of 1.5 would give to facilitating and encouraging you to continue your business operations. Yes, you can say the money is free, yes, but it's meant to be the how would you say, the gap or the stop gap or the bottleneck here is that it's free for the one who knows what he's going to use it for, right? So the clarity on that, how exactly you would implement the money into your current operations, is what we would like, and that's just in the itemized budget. The next thing is your one-page business profile. So we would want you to clearly state out in a single page just what is your business, what do you do, who's part of the team, what advantages do you have, what's your current operations, what's your growth plan, your account details so we can actually send the money to you, what features of your business or the value that you are providing. It could be as basic as, okay, I'm just a retail store and I have my business name. This is the location. This is how long I've been running. These are the products that I sell. These are my employees and staff. Or if you don't have employees and staff, it's just me. And this is as I am in this location. The competitive advantage thing is just there aren't as many stores around, so most of the people buy from me. So if I add more products and I already have a high demand, this money goes directly into that. And then just clarity on um, just who you are, what you do, and that's really what the business profile is supposed to be about. It's nothing too complicated, hopefully, unless I think if any specific businesses had questions or maybe what they might want to put, I think this would be a section to just get clarity on for you guys. And then we'll go into the second section, which I'm hoping Alamin would help me kind of go in depth into what 229 are really looking for, which is the evaluation criteria. And I'll just give an overview before he takes over, which is one, traction and business viability, 15%. two, ROI potential, so the return on investment, and then the use of funds. So that section where you were telling us what you're going to use the fund for weighs 15%. The founder strength and vision. So that part where you're introducing your business portfolio, your business profile, is talking about if maybe the business itself is an okay business, but you as an individual provide a specific competitive advantage, or you have a specific value where you're able to get contacts or network that it really takes you above other people, simply competitive advantage. That aspect is weighed very highly, so 30%. And then the market position and competitiveness, how many other people are actually doing that business? Can you actually identify that your business is actually either unique or not just unique, but you actually have demand, for instance? So you may not be unique as a business, you're a generic business, but there's a lot of people that need what you're providing, and that money will go towards fulfilling that demand. So that has 10%. And then the economic impact. So I would love for Tucci and I to talk about how that part and what they mean by that, especially since it weighs a lot. But my understanding is just each business has some impact in the community. And for instance, a retail store provides value to the citizens of the area because they're able to now get the goods that they need, right? So that has given a significant economic impact where when the store wasn't there, everyone would have to travel much farther and spend much more money. How they would judge that, I don't know, but I think it comes through in the things that you've submitted and how you would use the grant, and also who you are as a business and your business profile. So please, if Alamin would like to take over, just to explain that a bit more, I'd appreciate that.
All right then. So just to clarify, is it mainly on the economic impact or all the five evaluation criteria?
Just talk about what you guys are looking for and maybe clarify some of the things I've said, or kind of
Hello.
be sure that everyone understands what you guys want.
Sorry, my network is glitching. I
Okay.
wanted to ask, do you want me to clarify on the economic impact specifically or all the five evaluation criteria listed?
Okay. Yeah, we heard you the first time, but yes, we want you to clarify on all five.
All right then.
Mhm.
So the first one, traction and business viability. So like you had explained earlier, we're looking at businesses that have already shown some level of traction and growth.
Mhm.
So we basically want to see how far you've been able to come. That's the traction part. And then business viability, how viable is the business? I mean, the business might have been able to run, but then it doesn't really seem to have much future. It's not very viable. So that's basically what we're looking at, how far you've come and how likely that this business actually viable in the future. So that is for the first part. That's about 15% someone's going to get from there. The second part, sorry, can you scroll up? I'm actually using a
Oh,
screen.
sorry. I didn't know that. I was just trying to go to the next section. Sorry about that.
Yes, ROI potential and use of funds. So use of funds, that is why we are asking for the budget breakdown. If you're going to give you 1.5 million, you want to see where you intend on putting it into. And as business consultants, we can be able to see, okay, based on where business is at currently, if you want to use 1.5 million maybe to go and do marketing, we might feel like, okay, based on where business is, that might not really be the best. And so we can now be able to deduce that if we give you that money, it is not going to be able to really help your business. In fact, it's just going to be end up being wasted, sort of. So we're going to look at what you plan to use the money for, and based on that, we can be able to know, yes, this is a really carefully thought out budget, and this business person really understands his business and his or her business and where it is going and exactly what it needs. ROI potential as well. Of course, when we give you 1.5 million, we want to be able to know that, okay, by next year, you're going to have turned it into maybe 2.5 million or something like that. So we are going to also look at that. The third one is founder strength and vision. Of course, all businesses really, the foundation of the business is the founder. So we're going to look at who the founder is, maybe because their introduction as part of the application, who they are, what they've been able to do before their qualifications. So you're going to also consider that. That is also a very big factor. That's why it's there. It's going to contribute 30% of your eventual grading. The fourth one is market positioning and competitiveness. So that's what we're asking for, unique selling points for every business. So most businesses have competitors and all that. So we want to see what is your competitive advantage and what chances do you have in the current market situation for you to be able to succeed. Not really beat everyone in the market, but at least be able to succeed and take a reasonable part of the market share. Then the last one, economic impact. We are also heavy on that mainly because we want to give the grant to one business, but then we want it to be able to have impact across. And when we say economic impact, we're talking about job creation. We're talking about skills acquisition for maybe other people. We have businesses that maybe take apprentices and things like that. We're talking about GDP growth eventually as well that the business is going to contribute to. We're talking about innovation. We like businesses that are showing innovation in what they do and definitely probably pushing the boundaries of whatever industry it is that they are a part of. So that is what we mean by economic impact. So economic impact and founder strength and vision really are the two key look at, and then followed by traction and best visibility, the ROI potential use of funds, and finally market position and competitiveness. So in brief, this is the breakdown of the evaluation criteria.
Okay, that was very good. That was very good. And I just want to know if there are any questions before we move on. If anyone has anything they want to ask either Alamin or I.
Yes, please. You can even drop them in the comments section if you that would be easier. Do you
Okay.
have someone?
Yeah, so that's Sada Nasser, yes? Please, you can speak up. Sorry, Sada, I saw you put your hand up. You can ask the question or you can put it in the comments.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa
Hello.
alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Yes.
Okay, can I put it in the comments or ask now?
Okay, no, that's fine. I mean, you can just ask. It's in the Hakim Forum, okay.
Okay. I wanted to ask, do I have to have revenue to apply, or will I be disqualified? Or
Okay,
in this case, it's okay.
you will not be disqualified, but like the first evaluation criteria is traction. So the odds will not exactly be in your favor, but you still have a chance, just a very, very slim one because it's just traction and best visibility. Sorry, viability is already 15%. So that means your business has no traction. So you will have to probably do extremely well in all the other evaluation criteria for you to have much of a chance. But we really are heavy on businesses that are already existing.
No, it's existing, but it's like it's
It's in the early
pre-launch.
stages.
Yes.
Okay, yes, pre-revenue stage. Yes, please go ahead and apply.
Okay.
We are going to review it.
Okay. I think that's fine.
Hello?
So yeah,
Yes,
you said go ahead and apply.
Okay. And then
yes.
if I have a team but my co-founder is not with me, can I just apply as an individual?
That's the co-founder of the business you're applying for.
Yes, my co-founder.
Yes, you can just write that you have a co-founder there. They don't need to join the meeting or anything. Just write that you have a
Okay.
co-founder. That should be enough.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And do I have to apply again after I've applied before?
If based on this training, you feel like yes, you can really improve your application, then yes, you are welcome to apply again. But if you're still confident with your previous application, that is fine. We are just going to review the most updated application anyone has. So if someone applies twice, we are going to review the last application that they submitted.
Okay.
Yes.
That'll be all my questions. Thank you.
All right, then you're welcome.
I think I noticed Zainab raised her hand. If you have any questions, please ask.
Yeah, so Saada actually asked the question and I got the answer. Thank you.
Okay, mashallah, alhamdulillah. Okay, that's fine. Does anyone else?
Yes, I have a question, please.
All right.
So the first post that was made mentioned having a 2 to 3 minute founder video. So I applied the first time, and I applied the second time. It's okay if I apply one more time with improvements.
Yes, so if you remember seeing both your applications, yes, it's okay if you apply the third time.
Okay, then thank you.
All right, then. I appreciate
Just
the efforts.
my question is, I think that requirement has been removed, hasn't it, Alamin?
Yes, it has. It has been removed.
Yes.
So from the earliest announcement, two updates have been made. This first one is the video is no longer required. And the second one is there was requirement for like last 3 years, last 3 months expenditure and profits. We also removed that so that it would be easier for people to apply.
Okay, that's perfect. Anyone else with a question? Okay, please, Leilani.
Can I and my co-founder, can we apply? But we're only partners without any other teams.
Sorry, I am not sure I understand. You and your co-founder should apply for the same business or for two separate businesses?
We are the only ones who operate the brand, the business rather, but without any other team members.
Yes, of course you can apply. Even if you're the only person in your business, if you're a sole proprietor, you can still apply.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay. So, anybody else? Is there anyone else still with a question before we move on? I think that would be it. So there's more questions to ask. And before Victor takes over, we'll talk about more grants, both grants outside Nigeria. Um, I would want to just briefly talk about the guidelines. So the deadline is going to be on the 19th of Friday, the 19th. So this Friday, just to make sure that everyone, if you haven't applied yet, you apply. And I would like Alamin, once I just reiterate what is required, to finally just let us know um, what happens after that deadline. So, what communication will be given to maybe either the person who wins or whatever. So, the main requirements, just to remind everyone, PDF documents that contain CAC registration, one page of your business profile, evidence of business operations, itemized budget, contact details and information, and then your business logo, of course. And reminder, deadlines on Friday in case you want to just work on your application. You want to make sure, based on the information from today, you want to improve it. And yeah, just a reminder as well, the nature of your business is fine. If you're one person, multiple people, so long as you can prove that you do have a business, both from social media account or something like that, whether you run it from home or wherever, you can still apply. And then you'll be judged on the criteria that Alamin took us through. Turaki Aisha, please, you can ask a question.
Or something else. Yeah. For national, national team and so I think it will be better.
Okay. If she's not going to ask, then Alamin, could you just mention what the stage would be for whoever wins the financing, the grant?
All right, then. Thank you. So after the deadline, we're going to review, and then we're going to shortlist a couple of people that the applications basically stand out, and we're going to reach out to them. So we're going to have a virtual session with the founders and discuss some certain to get more specifics. That's what is going to happen. I'm sure we're also going to update anyone who did not make the final list so that everyone knows exactly where they stand. And then the winner will be announced by the 22nd of this month, inshallah.
Okay, sorry, I'm back now. I wanted to ask if you have to have a CAC certification to be able to apply, or maybe you're planning on doing that but not now, because I've been trying to get my registration done.
I think
Okay.
okay,
CAC is actually a requirement. If you don't have CAC, I am afraid we might not be able to really consider your application.
Okay, thank you. That was what I wanted.
All right.
I have another question.
Bismillah.
So if your business is able to get shortlisted for those that would be assessed for the grant, the second batch, that is, if the owner is, okay, how do I explain this? The founder is basically not in charge of the business management and everything, I'm in charge of, communications and the business planning and everything. What she focuses on is just like the designing and stuff. Is it okay if I come on the virtual meeting instead of her, or does she have to be the one to go?
Okay, it is actually okay. I think it even speaks to the strength of your team that your team members are able to represent the brand without the founder. That shows there's a shared vision. Everybody really knows what the brand is about and where it is headed. So that is
Okay.
totally fine. We don't require that a certain member particularly has to be the one to join. Anyone from your team can join.
All right, then. Thank you so much.
All right then.
Okay. I'm assuming that's the last of the questions before Mr. Victor takes over. All right. So please, Mr. Victor, please, I would like it if you took the stage, and I will end the screen sharing for now.
I think there's someone who wants to ask a question.
Oh, who else?
Someone
Sophie's as well.
No. I've turned it off.
Oh, okay. Calm. Is there anybody else?
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Yeah, you can take center stage.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I don't know if you can see my face now. My connection is not so great. I don't know why.
Okay.
That's happening now.
That's fine. That's fine. I think the main thing is that you can communicate to everyone. So just we can deal with that, I guess.
All right, great. So I'm going to share my screen for a bit. So I
Mhm.
just created a very simple slide for this part. And can you let me know when you can see my screen?
Yeah, still just you for now. Yeah, still haven't been able to see the screen.
I think it's coming up.
It's coming up. Okay.
Let me stop sharing and share again.
Okay.
Just give me a second. Let me
No problem.
share the entire screen. I'm not sure. Can I share my screen? Do I
Um,
have permission to share my screen?
oh, you don't have. You're wondering if you have permission or not? I think it's coming up now. Yeah, it's showing.
Okay. All right. Great. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So let me just go back. Can you see my slide?
Yes. Very clearly.
All right, great. All right, so I would just have like a very quick session, and I would ask questions. So basically, these four things. I'll give a brief intro of my experience with applied for grant funding, then share some of the things that you'd see, especially for foreign grants, and I'll share some tips on how to approach foreign grant application, and then some resources, and you can ask questions if you have any. So, like I said earlier, I am a fundraising clarity coach, and I help young people access foreign grants and attend fully funded conferences, international conferences across Europe, US, Africa, MENA region, and Asia. So this has been my journey so far. In 2018, I emerged as one of the 1,000 selected entrepreneurs out of 121,000 applicants in the Tony Malu Foundation grant. That was 2018. And then 2021, I was invited by the foundation to coach entrepreneurs. And from 2023 till date, I have been a mentor on the foundation. I'm currently mentoring like two startup founders. Yeah, I think one in Kenya and one in Nigeria, 2022, I joined a fintech startup and handling their branding assets, and then I also joined an e-commerce startup in 2022. I worked with them until 2024, and in that role, I worked as a marketing lead, and I also handled fundraising. In that role, I led them to emerge as the first Nigerian startup to ever Africa First Award winners at Jaites Global Dubai since 1981 till date, actually. And in that same year, I worked with the Creative Business Network in Denmark. So it's a network of they're building the largest network of creative entrepreneurs across the world. It's actually across 80 countries for now. And so I engage with their founders, investors, and speakers for their global finals in Denmark. And then in 2024, quarter four, I decided to launch Foreign Grants and More. It's basically a venture that helps young people access foreign grants and fully funded conferences. So basically, what I do is I guide them through a coaching session and also like give them access to a database of opportunities where they can apply. So yeah, so for the past 7 years, I have received over 50 global awards, grants, and recognitions, and participated in over 350 fully funded meetings by the AU, UN, EU, and other organizations. And surprisingly, this year, the venture I started, quarter four 2024, we were selected for the African Union Youth Startup Program in Algeria. Okay, so let's get right into it. So I'll try as much as I can to, spend less than the allocated time. I just want to confirm how many minutes do I have left, Ahmad?
I think you probably have around like 20. Yeah, maybe around
Great,
20
thank
minutes.
you.
Yeah.
All right, I'll try as much as I can to use that. So basically, just like the grant you're applying for now, every grant application has requirements, right? So first off, these three things you need to, before you approach grant funding, you need to understand that you need these three things: your solution or the product. It could be a product or service you're rendering, which is your business. Then you need to like carry out grant search, finding opportunities that are relevant to your industry or your sector or your thematic area if you're a social enterprise. Then grant categories. You need to also understand that there are some funding opportunities that are created by either government accelerator programs, multilateral partnerships, and development organizations like the UN, the African Union. And all of these organizations, why it is important for you to understand who is creating this grant is because it helps you to understand their priorities. Grant funding are usually created for certain priorities, So, for instance, the current grant that's open until January 7th, is it 7th? I guess, yeah. It's the grant that was created through this multilateral partnership which is the African Union, European Union Youth Voices Lab, and that's like AU Youth Voices Lab grant. And they have four categories, and the grant is going to run for 4 years. This is the second year. It started 2024, and they have grants from I think around 10,000 euros to 100,000 euros. So that partnership they have for them to create that grant, it means that they have certain priorities, and their priorities could range from youth development, social impact, economic development, environmental impact. So understanding who is creating the grant would help you understand how well to structure your application content in a way that it reflects their priorities and as well the thematic areas they are interested in. So for your solution, you could get grant as an idea stage entrepreneur, unlike the one we're having this info session for. This one requires that you actually an existing business, but there are funding opportunities out there. I mean, foreign grants and also some local grants that only need you to have just an idea, and you could be pre-launch. You could have it could be in your launch phase or probably post revenue, which is like post launch. And then there are platforms you can find grants. There are popular blogs. You can do Google search. But what we try to do in our organization is to create a database, which is a Google Sheet, where we update it daily with opportunities, foreign grant opportunities for and fully funded opportunities for young people who are eligible. So after knowing requirements that you need to meet, you need to like I said in the requirement, you need to understand thematic areas. You need to understand the agenda of the donors. You need to understand their priorities and the industries they are interested in. I think this one is Ahmad. Am I right? It is sector agnostic, meaning that anyone, any sector can apply, right?
Yes, anyone in any sector.
Yeah. So yeah. So there are grants that are sector agnostic. It can be from any sector, any industry, any country in the world, and there are some grants that are sector specific, which are basically funding opportunities are for specific sectors. Like the ones that you see more are grants for people in the climate space, green tech, clean tech, climate resilience, environmental sustainability. Then you see agriculture, you see education, you see health. There are like grant opportunities that you see everywhere. But the other sectors like creative industries, I think sexual reproductive health and rights, and some other smaller sectors, you won't find a lot of grants there because the progress made on the SDGs that are related to those sectors have actually higher than these other sectors that require that have more funding opportunities. So you need to understand thematic areas of the donors, their agenda, their priorities, and the industries they are interested in. So, as a founder, I think I saw in the eligibility criteria for this opportunity that um, the founder's strength and vision would give you 30% of the score. So, as a founder, if you've worked in industries that are related to what you're building now, and you've achieved some milestones or you have some achievements, awards that you've gotten, recognitions you've gotten, it's really important that you share all of this information online. I know a lot of people are really reserved and they are basically introverts. They don't like social media. But the truth about grant funding is most people, you would see a lot of people get grant funding. You wonder why they keep getting funding every single year. It is just because they share their achievements in public. They talk about what they are building in public. They are building in public. They are not hiding privately to build. They are sharing everything they are working on social media. The truth is, when foreign grants or when grants review teams want to carry out their review or their due diligence or background check, they usually search for you on social media to see what you've been doing. Because the first thing that they do when it comes to grant funding, the first thing donors actually prioritize is the founder or the co-founders. Really, they want to know who they are giving their monies to. They don't want to give their monies to kidnappers. They don't want to give their monies to um, people who are involved in money laundering, right? They don't want to give their money to those kind of people. So they want to be sure that you are credible, you have you're you're someone that has a public what's it called now? You're very much active on social media. They can find you on Google. They can find you on any social media platform. They can see what you're doing. So from your activities, from your awards, from your work experience, from the recognitions you've gotten, this will actually enable them to decide whether or not you should get the funding. So it's really, really, really important that you talk about what you've achieved, what you're working on social media, even if it's not related to what you're building. So another thing is impact and traction. I think it's one of the I think somebody raised their hand. Am I
It's just a
right?
notification that we have 15 minutes left. That's fine.
Okay, I'll try as much
Yeah,
as I can to like
no
finish up.
problem.
So traction was mentioned in this other opportunity and business viability. So when you understand the priorities of donors, it will help you communicate your traction correctly. So for instance, if you are in the training business, education business, right? And you're focused on digital skills acquisition, right? So you've trained 10,000 young people on certain digital skills. You can't just say you've trained 10,000 young people on certain digital skills. You need to talk about the outcome, the activities, the training, and then the number is the output is the number of people you've trained, but the outcome is what is missing. So the outcome will be something like who have gone ahead to, and 90% or 60% of them have gone ahead to start internship programs that will give them livable income opportunities, right? So that's going to be the outcome. So you can't just talk about the activity and the output. The outcome also matters. So when you know the priorities of these donors, you will be able to understand how best to communicate your traction in a way that it reflects their priorities and it reflects their expectations from the people who should be qualified for the grants they are giving out. So the next thing is sustainability and revenue plans, how you make money. So I think in these other grants, they talked about ROI potential. So if you're a social enterprise, you most likely be depending on grants and project funding to like for financial sustainability. But if you are a for-profit entrepreneur, you'll most likely be depending on customers for revenue. And there are different revenue models like subscription, commission, sales of products. If you are in the tech space, you're talking about API fees and card tokenization if you're in the fintech space. So there are different revenue models you can actually talk about. Then supporting documents is really important. I think in this one too, they mentioned that you must be incorporated. So if you have your incorporation type also matters. So there are some opportunities that are for non-profit, so meaning that you need to be an NGO, and there are some opportunities that are for profit startups, meaning that you need to be a limited liability company or a business name that is just registered, right? And then supporting links or files, like if you have spoken at different events, you need to have those recordings online, perhaps on YouTube. If you, or if you have just pictures, post them on social media, because those are like supporting documents or links that you can actually use to show that you are the best person to, you know, deliver on this project or to be funded for this grant opportunity. If you have a website, is really key. Website is very, very important because it shows that you're credible, and then it shows that you're serious about making progress in business. Then if you have impact reports or you have speaking engagements, just put them on online. Then I think, yeah, founders bio and team, I mentioned this before. When you're trying to talk about your bio as a founder, I try to like, I usually suggest to founders that they use these uh, f- uh, three framework or three paragraphs rather. The first paragraph is talking about your skills, your skills, your expertise, where you work or what you do. Then the second paragraph should focus more on your past achievements, your past results, or your potential for success. And the the third paragraph rather should focus more on your ambition, your future ambitions, your goals, the goals you want to achieve, and as it's related to the current business you're running. Then, of course, you need to use figures when you're talking about when you're actually describing anything, especially in the second paragraph and the third paragraph. Very important because figures will help you to reflect the magnitude or the size of the impact you've created as an individual or the found as a team. Then these are some commonly asked foreign grants application questions. What problem have you identified? We don't have time. I would have gone through each and every one of them, but what problem have you identified? What solution are you creating? Who are the target audience? What is the market size or value? What are competitors doing regarding this problem? So in this other funding opportunity, you saw that one of the criteria was market position and competitiveness. So you need to understand, you need to know your competitors. If you don't know your competitors, you won't know what makes your solution different. So you won't be able to answer this next question. But what I want to highlight in this page is that most founders go ahead to solve problems that are not real. They identify uh, problems that are imaginary problems. So, for instance, a real problem is Chowdeck in, I don't know what Kano looks like. I've never been to Kano, but a real problem is Chowdeck and boat in Lagos. But it is an imaginary problem in Kano for you to say you want to solve the problem of logistics using app and boat and chow deck for delivering food and also like ride hailing. It's similar to a market like Akwa Ibom State, Uyo, for instance. It's actually an imaginary problem there because why? Because there's no traffic. So the reason why these businesses thrive well in Lagos and they don't even expand to other states is because Lagos has the traffic, and as far as there's traffic, money they make money from their solutions. So that's the difference between having a real problem and imaginary problem. A real problem can work in a market like the US or Europe, and it will be an imaginary problem for us to implement in Africa because it doesn't work for us in our location. Another thing is being able to understand that there could be a gap in the market that you've identified, but you need to understand whether there is a market in the gap, right? So that's actually about market size and market value. There's a difference. Market size is focused on the number of people who are facing the problem, and then the market value is actually the value of the market or the value of solving that problem or value of the market where people are actually going in to solve that problem. So the second part of this application questions include what is the business or revenue model? Business model is B2B, B2C, B2B2C, B2G, P2P if you're building a crypto platform, which is peer-to-peer. Then revenue model, like I mentioned earlier, subscription, commission, sales of products, and many other revenue models. Then what has Traction been so far? Traction, don't just talk about the output, talk about the outcome. As I said earlier, describe your team using figures and be able to highlight their past achievements or their potential for success on the team. Then tell us about yourself. It's still the same. I think tell us about yourself, describe your team and past achievements. They are kind of related. Just use the same structure to work on those three. Then, what are your future goals and ambitions in the next 3 to 5 years? I like to suggest to founders that they use these two paragraphs. The first paragraph should focus on short-term goals, which should look like in the first 2 to 3 years, our goal is to achieve goals A, B, and C. And then the second paragraph will be long-term goals. In the next 2 to 3 years, we plan to achieve goals D, E, and F. And then the final one is how much funding do you need and what do you want to use it for? What I try to suggest to founders is that they should prioritize partnerships over funding. So when you prioritize partnerships, talk about the relevant partners that can help you scale your business. It will actually help these organizations when they select you for that funding. They would actually be able to introduce you to those organizations, and from there, that's how you get more opportunities without applying. So, but then when you're talking about your use of funds, ensure that you're using figures to show to show the quantifiable output or outcome from using this fund. So, for instance, if you look at this screen now, you'd see that I said I want to fund sales growth and administrative expenses to onboard 100,000 customers by Q4 of 2026. I want to fund B2B and B2C marketing to reach $50,000 in monthly recurring revenue. So use figures to really show that the output or the outcome of using these funds is quantifiable. Then I think, yeah, that's pretty much it. So what I want you to do, if you're using your laptop, you can use your phone to scan this QR code to access some of these resources. And I think one of the resources is the summary of this slide that I have presented now. So you can actually have access to it, and it has more details than this. Then if you're using your phone, just save a screenshot and you can scan later. All right. So thank you so much. I hope I was able to use less than 15 minutes.
Honestly, that was
All right.
perfect
So
on the nose timing.
we'll just take questions if you have any.
Yes, please. Anybody with questions, just alert, raise your hand, and then we'll go through.
Or if time doesn't permit, or if you remember your questions later, you can as well reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm very active there, or Instagram. I will respond to you.
I think we need to give you more time to actually explain and go more in depth, but we'll discuss that another time. I think the focus really is for
Oh, that's fine.
the application for this current grant, and then anyone who looks towards applying towards further grants. Um, I don't see anybody raising any hands. Anybody with a question? Anyone?
Or is it clear enough?
I,
I
I
don't know.
think we need to give you more time to actually go in depth because you had talked about a lot of things and terms that maybe not everyone fully understood.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe
oh,
they
I
don't have
see.
the
I
background
see.
or yeah, and you're going over it a bit
I
quick.
see.
So we need to give you more time to fully teach people and to accept it. So if people aren't going to like raise their hands to ask a question, can I at least see people who would be interested in learning more or finding out more from Victor? Just a raise of hands on the call is fine. Okay. 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 So as you can see, Victor, we have to actually work towards giving a proper training or something, but we'll be in discussions outside of this. Just to reiterate, please, those who have yet to apply for um, the grant from the bridge by G, please take the time to apply. 1.5 M. It's sponsored by the Space Foundation, and there's one message I kind of want to leave everybody on before we actually conclude the call. And the point I'm trying to make here is think about why people are going to give you money for free. What is the point as to giving a grant or people who want to loan or finance? And what I want you to understand is everyone who is here, whether it is that you have the CAC or you don't have, or you're registered, you aren't registered, you're trying to create value or you have created value. And most of the people and organizations in the world do not end up creating any value. And the point of giving you this fund or giving you this money is because what you are doing to trade, to sell, to produce, whether it's that you're making food at your house and you're selling it to someone, or whether it's that you have an office and you're producing content or something like that, that aspect of making value is important to all countries and organizations. And there are a lot of people that are willing to support you and that are willing to facilitate for you. And so make the effort to build what you have. Even if you haven't started, even if you're not yet there, just keep trying, because if you can create a business that can actually make value, make profit, so many people are ready to give you the funds that a lot of people say they can't have access to. Capital is a problem. I don't have money to start my business. This is an issue. That is an issue. So long as you can prove to people that you can actually do the work, there are people ready and willing to give you the money to do what you need to do. So please take the time, prioritize your work, prioritize your business. And this is just a call to action on you to make sure you do your best at what you do and to take the time to build your business as best as you can. So thank you to the space. Thank you to 229. Thank you to the Bridge by G. Thank you to Victor. And we really appreciate the call that you've had.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. All right. So have a good
We
day,
have
everybody.
we have two hands raised, but I don't think we can
Are they
take
raised
those
for the question
questions.
or for the just to
I
identify?
don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I think it was when I
Uh,
asked them to identify that they raised.
okay, okay. All
Yes.
right, that's
Yes.
fine. All
All
right
right.
then. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right. It's been a pleasure, everyone. Have a good day, and please don't forget to apply.
Thank you to our clients as well.
Mm,
This is a super great job. Thank you so much.
yeah. Pleasure.